Released September 29th, 2020 on PSVR, Steam, Oculus Rift, and Oculus Quest by developer and publisher Shell Games. Until You Fall is a roguelite hack and slash where you get the chance to become a master of deadly blades, or die trying. Thanks to the publisher for the PSVR review key.
Wake up, champion. Our city lies in ruin. In its place, monsters and twisted spirits now thrive.
Fight, fall, rise again. This is the tagline for Until You Fall, and the most apt description I might add. The civilization of Rokar, once mighty, fueled by a magical power called Aether, has been reduced to ruin. The once great nation of Rokaris has been destroyed by an unknown force. Now mysterious beings roam the now crystallized ruins of Rokar.
Well done. It's time to move.
You take on the role of the last Rune Knight, guided by a mysterious runesmith who assists you on your perilous quest. Until You Fall being a roguelite, there isn't much more on this story. Like most roguelites, the story is just there to give your trek some relevance. And while the runesmith, your guide, she speaks to you a lot, the things she says to you are more on the lines of cheerleading than actual story progression. But the story is appreciated regardless.
Fight!
Until You Fall sports some decent visuals. Nothing to wake a friend up at 2 AM about, but what's presented here gets the job done and is no eyesore. The visuals are above basic, and that's a good thing. The environments could use some more details in the textures, but the enemy characters are designed well enough and your character's arms and weapons are quite detailed. Watching my weapons spawn in the palms of my hands has to be the real treat here. The audio works well, with a smooth, future synth retrowave soundtrack, sound effects that fits like a glove, and good voice acting where present.
Magnificent.
Gameplay is on point, and I must commend the developers for pulling off some tight elements where this is concerned. In true roguelite form, you're presented with procedurally generated levels and RPG mechanics in the more you try, the more you die, or the better your chances of getting by style. So if you're not a fan of repeating yourself over and over, if you're not too big on the learn and earn principles presented in roguelites, then steer clear. I must say though, I was never into this style of gaming either, but the more I'm exposed to this genre, is the clearer the appeal becomes. There's quite a rewarding feeling associated with persistence. When I first started out with Until You Fall, I was getting frustrated fast. I had weapons, but that was not enough. Flailing can take you so far, but Until You Fall forces you to slow down and to pay attention. It forces you to respect the mechanics at play here. I tried all the difficulty levels available, but I noticed very little difference. The easiest level will award you an extra health crystal at the end of an area. The normal difficulty option will give you a 10% increase in Aether you acquired during an area, and the hardest difficulty, Relentless, gives you 15%. But other than that, I honestly did not notice a difference in the gameplay, so I just stuck to Relentless. My point is, running through this game will humble you. You will quickly accept the fact that this isn't just about how fast or hard you can swing these move controllers. You have to pay attention, when to block, when and how to strike, when to use which super move, which perk or upgrade would serve you best, when to physically dodge, and so on. This brought me to the realization that this game wasn't just rushed out the door based on a decent idea that may yield some cheddar. Thought was put into its design.
Magnificent.
And this is what keeps me coming back for this high level of punishment in VR. The upgrade system allows you to upgrade your knight's abilities, his attributes, and weapons. Depending on which hand you use to select an upgrade will determine which weapon gets the upgrade.
Good. Through our efforts, the Forge is slowly returning to its former glory.
The upgrades, although I'm pretty certain they are not, seem infinite. After each area cleared, you're given the option to choose from 3 crystals. They may offer you increased health, Aether, which is the local currency, a stronger defense, offense, and so on. After each run, you return to the hub area where you can select different weapons and upgrades which are unlocked as you progress and bought with the Aether you acquired on said run. You can also change your difficulty level and practice on a training dummy of sorts. The actual fighting feels good, very refined and precise for most part. While the blocking feels better over time, I wasn't 100% on board with it, especially on the earlier runs. Based on personal real-life experiences practicing martial arts for nearly 4 decades, I can safely say that blocking an attack does not require such a high level of precision, but I understand that if it were made any simpler, the entire game may end up relegated to a flail fest. So the blocking mechanic was created this way in a bid to add technique and strategy to what could otherwise end up being the motion controller equivalent to button smashing. You follow the patterns of these streaks of light, I guess I'll call them. This is how you execute a successful block or strike. It leaves room for error in striking, as if you do not follow the pattern for striking, you will still inflict some damage, but for blocking, there's no wiggle room. Get it right or get the hell out. You're also rewarded for successful blocks with guard damage, so this incentivizes you to figure it out. You're given the option to play standing or seated, but here's the thing, while I totally appreciate that flexibility, I much prefer to play all video games seated. I play games for relaxation and escape, not to break a sweat. This is why I've only played Creed Rise to Glory once. This is my gripe with VR. Sometimes it takes too much to get invested in a game. All the accessories, the physical commitment. When I want to work out, I know where to go, so yeah, I play seated. Until You Fall is played with move controllers only, and I'm just here imagining the ways devs facepalm right before undertaking a move VR game. This no thumbsticks thing proves that no matter what you have created before, no matter how wealthy and powerful and smart you're supposed to be, there's always that little gap reserved for stupidity. I've said this in previous videos before, and although I feel compelled to do so, I will not harp on my peeves with PSVR controls every single VR review I do. I'll just leave it here. If Until You Fall was being controlled with 2 move controllers with thumbsticks, it would be so much better. Perhaps all I need to do is play a whole lot more PSVR games consistently, as I do remember there was a time where a gamepad was an asinine idea. When I had to change over from a joystick to a gamepad with my Sega Master System, it was a bit of a challenge, but a rewarding one, and I do like to learn new things constantly, so maybe in time, but for now, PSVR controls as they stand just seem really backward. There are no smooth turning options here. If this is an oversight on my part, feel free to edify me. But this makes the whole no thumbsticks thing stand out even more. You do have the options to move wherever your head is turned, but this proved to be too slow for this high level of fast action. I understand the need for comfort settings in a VR game, but comfort settings and gradual learning are not for me. No matter how nauseous I become from VR games, I'll leave those comfort options off until I get used to it. Comfort options defeat the purpose of VR gaming and gaming on a whole for me. Video games are about immersion. Comfort options take away immersion. See my point?
Never mind. Questions for later.
So, in my time playing Until You Fall, my greatest hurdle, my toughest challenge was not the enemy, but the controls. You don't have much to do like you would in games like Jade Cypher, so you won't be pulling your hair out over the control scheme. But what I'm saying is noticeable. If you're a VR Jedi, then much props to you. I aspire to such greatness myself someday.
Annihilated.
Until You Fall, with passable visuals, a well-fitting soundtrack, solid voice acting, 7 out of 10 controls, and all-around good gameplay mechanics which gives you more than enough incentive to keep coming back for more. I'm going to have to give Until You Fall a passing mark. It passes with flying colors actually. Great job, Shell Games. I look forward to your next VR entry. This is my review, one man's opinion, but ultimately it's your choice. Hop on over to the PlayStation Store or Steam and give it a shot for yourself. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell while you're at it, why don't you? If on the other hand, I found a way to piss you off with this video, then why not hit up them hate buttons like one of those twisted spirits in the fallen land of Rokar and keep it moving. Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.
Masterfully done.